A woman was with her friend in her car when he asked her why she was looking at the man who was washing the car in front of her. She says she wasn't looking at anyone, but he doesn't believe her and says he saw her looking at that man washing the car. She says that he was going crazy as he wasn't looking anywhere. But the man says that he doesn't deceive him and that he was much better than that poor man, both in appearance and in financial matters. The woman then says she is tired of that conversation as her friend was acting crazy and gets out of the car. She then says that he was crazy and that they were just friends. This makes the man angry. He says that the woman could not treat him that way. Meanwhile, the car cleaner finishes cleaning the car he was cleaning and heads to the woman's friend's car. He asks if he could clean his car and that he would charge a very small price. The woman's friend nods and he starts cleaning the car. When he was cleaning, the woman's friend starts to drive the car. This makes the man scared and he asks if the woman's friend was crazy. He then gets out of the car and asks if he asked him to clean his car. The man says he had nodded and that meant he could wash the car. He then says he doesn't want a dirty person like the man to wash his car and throws a cup of coffee at the man. The man asks why he is treating him that way. He says he doesn't like the man and that he should get away from his car. Sometime later, the man is in a park selling sweets and offers a boy to buy from him. The boy says he doesn't want it because he couldn't eat candy. The man then thanks him and leaves. Later, he approaches the woman and asks if she could help him by buying his candy. She is soon happy to see the man and says she will buy his candy. He takes a large amount out of his bag and gives it to the man. He says he wouldn't have change for that amount and would have to go back. She says she wouldn't need it, that the man could keep the change. The man is very happy about that and appreciates the woman's generosity. She says she did it so she could help the man and asks his name. They then say their names to each other and the woman says that she saw him some time ago washing cars and asks if he worked with that. He says he's always looking for some way to work and earn money. The man says he has always been a hard worker because that is what his father had taught him. She praises the man's effort. Suddenly, the woman friend arrives and starts to fight with her for talking to the man and starts insulting him. She then scolds him and the man says he doesn't want to cause them any trouble and would leave. The woman's friend says he wouldn't leave because he would need to hear what the woman's friend had to say and goes back to fighting with the woman. The woman then says she doesn't understand why her friend treats the man so badly. He says that man wasn't good enough for the woman and that he doesn't want him to be around her. The man says it wasn't necessary to treat him that way, but the woman's friend sees the candy that the woman had bought from the man and gets angry. She says she only bought it to help the man. He then tells the man to get the hell out of there and yells at the woman to get in her car immediately, whereupon she gets up and goes. He then tells the man that if they ever meet again, he wouldn't leave things that way and tells him to leave. The man then picks up the bullets from the floor and says he doesn't understand what was going on there. Sometime later, the man is washing a car when the woman appears. She says she is there to apologize to the man and say that she and her friend were not together. The man says that his friend was very possessive and asks how the woman could put up with him. She says that the two were friends for a long time and that her friend always tried something extra, but that he had no feelings for him. The man says he understands the woman's situation, but that he doesn't want any problems for him, and asks her to leave him alone, because her friend could show up and cause him more problems. She then says that her friend wouldn't know about it and that she was there to apologize and invite him on a date. The man says he has doubts about this, but the woman says she really wants to go out with him and asks him to accept. He says that he was very poor and that they were from different worlds. She says it didn't matter to her and that she really wanted to get to know the man better. He says the woman was very interesting and accepts her invitation, but only if they were just friends. She is then happy with that and says she would come get him the next day, and the two say goodbye. The next day, the two were going to a restaurant and the man says he doesn't know that place, but the woman says it was a great restaurant and that she always went there. She says it was for the man to be calm that she would pay the bill, because she was the one who had called him. He says he's a little uncomfortable being in a fancy restaurant for the first time. She tells him to calm down and tells him to tell her more about himself. He claims to be a normal person, just a man who washes cars and sells candy to survive. The woman then says that ever since she first saw him, she has taken a liking to him. He says the woman was a sweet and kind person and that those qualities are rare these days. She appreciates the man's compliment and asks if he was single. He says yes, and that no one would be interested in a man like him. The woman then says that that might not be true, that there could be someone interested in him and he couldn't see it. He asks who would be interested in him and she replies that she was. The man then says that for the woman to look at him well, because she would see a person without money even to buy clothes and that no one would be interested in him. She tells the man to stop putting himself down and that he was a good person. Suddenly, the woman's friend appears and questions her about her being with the man again. She then gets angry and says that her friend would not humiliate the man anymore. He says he wasn't humiliating the man, he was doing it to himself. The man then asks what he would have done to make the woman's friend treat him so badly like that. The woman's friend then proceeds to insult him. The man then says that he was very humiliated in his profession for being a car washer, but that he couldn't handle the woman's friend treating him that way. The woman then gets angry with her friend and says that every time someone tries to approach her, her friend treats him that way and that he shouldn't look for her anymore and leaves. He then wonders what the woman had seen in the man and that he was so much better than he was. The woman then goes after the man and asks him to wait for her. The man says that they were from different worlds, that it had barely started and was already causing problems for both of them. She then tells the man to listen to her, but the man keeps walking away. Sometime later, the man is washing cars when the woman appears. He says he's busy, but the woman says she was there to help him and that she really wants to be a part of his life. He says that that was a world below hers and that she didn't belong in that world. She says she wants to be a part of the man's world and would start by helping him wash cars. This makes the man very happy. A year passes and the two are in a car when they spot the woman's friend washing a car. The woman's friend says he finished the car he was washing and would go to the next one. He then approaches the car and is startled when he sees the two inside the car, and he says he will clean the car for them. The woman then asks if the man would let him clean his car, even though he has done so badly to them before. The man then says that one should not treat others with contempt and that each person gives their best.